So, Christmas is about 3.5 or 4 months away, something like that. And I have an aunt who is pretty much already done Christmas shopping for the most part. I mean, I'm sure she'll have some odds and ends to pick up yet, but for the most part, she's done. And when I remember being younger and thinking, that's really smart, like that's a good idea. I should probably do that when I get older, and have to, have kids of my own to buy gifts for and stuff. And I do a little bit, not nearly this early, but I do start. Like before Black Friday, I usually have already started a little bit. And for whatever reason, I got thinking today, why do we even do gifts? Now, for those of you who don't know, I'm not a churchgoer or any of that. I'm not going to get into that. That has nothing to do really with my conversation, other than the fact, it doesn't really make sense that I give gifts. Now, I do it personally just for the kids. The kids enjoy the tree. The kids enjoy all that. So that's what we do. We go ahead and I still give them presents and stuff. And I mean, they make me cards and stuff like that. Obviously, they're little. They don't have jobs. They're not out buying me presents. And that's fine. I don't want any. But I guess more at the core is, why do we even give gifts anyway? And I think it's more than just the holiday season. We do it for birthdays and stuff like that. But even bigger picture, I think it's because even as little kids, we are just taught to consume. We are taught to be dissatisfied with the things we have. And I mean, that goes into everything. There's a reason you get a new, and you as a general statement, but there's a reason you get a new car every, 3 years, when that car would easily last you 5. There's a reason you have to have new clothes, even though the ones you have are perfectly fine. Cell phones. Everybody has a cell phone. I mean, I dare you to find somebody under the age of 40 or 50 who doesn't have a cell phone. And not only that, I dare you to find somebody under the age of 30 who doesn't have a smartphone. Flip phones are very much still an option. And I think I know one person personally under the age of 30 who still has a flip phone, and he does it by choice. That's what he prefers, and that's totally fine. But that just raises it to, do we actually need the smartphone? No, don't get me wrong. This is not directed at you and not at me. I'm 100% guilty of everything I'm talking about. I have a smartphone. Do I absolutely need it? Well, no, I don't. I mean, it makes it super handy for these videos, and it's very convenient to have, GPS at the palm of my fingers, palm of my hands, whatever. You get it. It makes it super easy to be able to look up information in a second's notice. It makes it easy for me to exchange just everything. I can exchange information with other people very easily with a smartphone, where with a basic flip phone, I wouldn't be able to necessarily. I mean, I guess I could still do it, but it wouldn't be nearly as easy as it is. But there you go, where we have them, but we don't absolutely need them. If you're not using it for work, if it's not a tool, you don't actually need it. And even there, I mean, I feel like there's very, very few professions where they're you have to have this. I mean, I'm sure they exist, don't get me wrong, but I just feel like they're kind of few and far between, at least at this point. Maybe as we go forward into the future, that'll be different, but as it sits now, it's just not something that's absolutely necessary. But I mean, that goes for everybody. Everybody has things they don't necessarily need. Do I need as big of a television as I have? Probably not. Honestly, I don't even really watch TV. I don't need it. It's just, it's a creature comfort. I would rather have a big one than a little one. The TV I have has built-in speakers, but I decided to go get a sound bar. It has speakers. It already made noise. It's not like it needed speakers to work properly. I just decided to go buy more. I mean, this was a while ago, but even so. Just stuff like that, Do we need all these extra things? Well, absolutely not. But, again, we are preconditioned to believe we do. So, I mean, I don't know. I have kids. And again, everything I'm saying, I am just as guilty of. So this isn't me calling anyone out. I have kids. I don't know at what age you put your children in front of the television, but for us, I mean, it's pretty young. And I mean, we do our best to put on educational programming, but even there's ads between them. Watch those ads. They are not directed at you. They are 100% directed at your children. As babies, like infants and toddlers, they are ads directed at them. You can tell by watching. They are super dumbed down. They have bright colors and flashing lights, and they are toys, and they are clothes. Go to Walmart, now especially this time of year, now that it's back to school, go to Walmart and look at the signs. They are back to school, and they are going to have smiling kids and generally surrounded by other smiling kids, which I've never looked at one of those and outright thought, well, if I have these clothes, I'll have new friends. But subconsciously, absolutely, because these kids are wearing brand new clothes and they're surrounded by children who are also smiling, which is going to lead you to believe they are friends. And subconsciously, if I have these new clothes, I will have more friends. And everybody wants new friends, especially when you're younger and more insecure. You strive to be the popular kid. You want to have all the friends. Now, you want to be true to yourself and all of that as well, but at the core, you want more friends. No younger person says, I don't know, I got two. That's too many. I just don't like people. They haven't grown to hate the world yet. They haven't grown to understand how the world works. And so that's what they want. That's their reward, is that they get more friends. They get more people to joke with and have fun with and smile with and be happy with. That's fine. But the ads are basically telling the children that that's not going to happen, or it's not going to happen as easily if you don't wear these nice new clothes. Now, you and I both know that there's nothing wrong with hand-me-down clothes, and frankly, my kids wear a lot of hand-me-down clothes, and I love it. It's so much less expensive, and it helps other people out too, because otherwise those clothes are just going to get thrown away. So you take them off their hands, you get clothes for either free or cheap, and it's a win-win for everybody. I know we've given a lot of our clothes to, friends and stuff who have kids or are having kids, and it works great because, again, it gets it out of our house, which, I mean, if you have kids, you understand, like, the stuff just multiplies. And that goes for toys, clothes, all of that stuff. It just multiplies. So it's nice to be able to help someone else out while still getting to clean out your house. And so it works great. But that's the point I'm making, is we are just, we're predisposed. We are trained to consume, spend. So you will happily go to work and you will feed the machine hours of your life that you cannot get back for a little bit of pay that will never be enough. I work a lot. And again, I'm an example. I work a lot of hours. I don't mind that because it gives us comfort in our lives, But I work and I trade a lot of my hours for a little bit of pay every week, just for things. I mean, do we need these things? No, I need water, I need food, I need shelter. My kids are the same. Everything past that, honestly, is a creature comfort, We don't need cable, absolutely not, and we don't have it. But we don't need cable, that's a creature comfort. We don't need, we need heat. We live in, and we live in a climate where we absolutely need heat, or we will freeze to death. But aside from that, I guess is what I'm getting at. Aside from the obvious things, we spend our money on stuff we don't need. We just do, and that's as a culture, as a society. That's just the way we were trained, basically, from a young age. And to me, that's sad, and it's scary to know that we are raising. There's an example. We are raising our kids to be the same, if not worse. So, I don't know, and I don't know a solution. I really don't know a solution. Because we'll go to, like, Christmas presents again. The reward for my children is just as strong as the reward for me, and vice versa. Maybe even stronger for me than for them. For the kids, they're going to enjoy those toys. Let's say you give them 5 toys, which everybody knows it's kind of light on Christmas, but let's use that as an example. If you give your children 5 toys, they're going to play with all 5 of those for 1 week's time. After that 1 week, they're going to play with 1 or 2 for maybe a month. By February, by Valentine's Day, they're going to be dissatisfied and they're going to want a new toy. And anybody who's a parent knows that to be true. They are going to want something new. The old toys are no longer exciting, or they're not the in thing, and that'll be the end of them. I mean, they'll play with them here and there. I've got one thing that my middle child still plays with from when he was 2. He's 4 now. That one toy. The rest, he just here and there, but not enough that it's really worth keeping. You know, they're not practical. I mean, it'd be different if they were tools or something, but again, he's 4. Like, of course he doesn't have hand tools. But you get my point. Like, there's no practical reason to keep them if you don't have them. Now, try to get rid of them, and all hell breaks loose, because those are his favorite toys all of a sudden. And again, he'll play with them again for a couple days when you threaten to get rid of them, and then they go right back into the toy box just to be ignored. And that's unfortunate, you know. I have no qualms with, you know, your kids or my kids having toys and nice clothes, none at all. But at what point is it excessive? At what point is it a problem? You know, I mean, I don't know what that was, but I got it. You know, at what point is it a problem? And that's for you to decide on your own. I don't know. So this was a long rant video, and I hope somebody can relate to it, and I hope somebody comments and says, you know what, I get it. Because it popped into my head, well, a while ago, honestly, and it's just been going back and forth. So let me know if you think I'm way off base, or, you know, maybe I'm being too critical of it all, or if what I'm saying kind of makes sense. And if so, how do we fix it? How do we get back away from, you know, all of this without losing everything, you know? I'm not saying we should all huddle up in a hole in the woods by any means, but, you know, again, when it's in excess, are we really doing our kids a service, or are we doing them a disservice, you know? I don't know. Let me know what you think, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's a little different than the rest of them. It's a lot different, honestly, but like, share, you know, subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Bye.